Yeah, can I get a large Shamrock shake?
All right. Anything else?
No, that'll be it. I've never been that much of a drinker. I've never been more of a casual social drinker. I'll have the occasional beer, the very occasional Jaeger bomb, especially if I'm doing something for a video. So I've always been much more attached to something like this, the old Shamrock Shake from McDonald's. That's, if there's any reason why I look forward to St. Patrick's Day, it's for this particular seasonal offering from McDonald's. Not to get drunk is really, do you need an excuse to get drunk? That's one of the things about the way we celebrate St. Patrick's Day in the U.S. that I've always sort of shaken my head at, not in a disapproving way, but just in a, what are we doing sort of way, in a questioning sort of way, because we've basically turned St. Patrick's Day into the drinking day, which means that we've set aside a popular holiday to do something that we do anyway. It would be almost as if we had Christmas, but we got each other presents all the time. I can drink on my own time, quite frankly. I don't need an excuse. So I would rather make St. Patrick's Day about things like the Shamrock Shake that you can't get every other time. You can't get that all the time. Just like for me, Easter is about Cadbury eggs. You can't get those all year. You can only get those around Easter. Shamrock Shake is just a St. Patty's Day type of thing. I'd rather make St. Patty's Day about that. It makes it more special, I mean, look at this. I'm drinking this. The ingredients of this are an absolute mystery to me. The ingredients of this are completely opaque. I have no idea what's in this. I'm fairly certain that there's nothing like actual mint or ice cream in here, but I don't care. And it's green, so you know that it's mint flavored. If you're too stupid to be able to discern that that's what you're tasting, they give you a little visual cue, which I appreciate. Yeah, I finished my Shamrock Shake and I figured, what the hell? It's St. Patrick's Day, right? And, it should probably be a pint of Guinness, but I don't usually drink Guinness. I don't keep it in the house. And I thought about going out and getting some just for this, but I wound up not doing it, and I prefer Yingling anyway. And it might not be as appropriate to celebrate St. Patrick's Day, that day of all things Irish, by drinking an American beer that was created by German immigrants. But then again, maybe appropriate, pronounced slightly differently, is the perfect word, because isn't that what we non-Irish folk have done with St. Patrick's Day? Haven't we appropriated it? Or reappropriated it, perhaps, would be more fitting. We've taken it and we've made it our own. It originally was just a feast day in the Catholic Church. Then it became more of a celebration of Irish culture. And now it's a day to go out and get fucked up with your friends. So it's changed. Sometimes I think that as it continues to change and evolve, it'll go even further from those roots. And eventually it won't even be about Irish shit at all. Eventually, like if you look at St. Patrick's Day in 100 years, it'll just be the day that we dye stuff green. One of the unfortunate things is the way that some of the most visible modern American celebrations of St. Patrick's Day have been marred by the exclusion of certain groups. Some of the biggest St. Patrick's Day parades have made headlines for many years running for not allowing openly gay groups to take part in and march in the parades. And it's been a news story this year because of the South Boston St. Patty's Day parade, and Samuel Adams pulling out as a sponsor, and some local restaurants refusing to sponsor it or to take part in it because of their exclusion of LGBT groups. And that's too bad. And because the celebration of St. Patrick's Day in the United States in particular, and the almost universal acceptance of it, and all of us getting together and taking part in it, that is such a victory. If you think about the history of Irish immigrants in this country, if you think about the deplorable treatment of Irish immigrants in the U.S., in the 19th century, how they were thought of as less than human. They were subjected to horrible intolerance and bigotry. And then you look at Irish Americans now, and they are considered today to be one of the fundamental immigrant groups of modern America. And their holiday, St. Patrick's Day, is one of everybody's favorite holidays. It's so much fun. You dress up in green, you wear shamrocks for some reason, uh, you drink a lot of beer, you have a good time with your friends, hopefully. And if you're straight or closeted gay, you get to march in parades. Um, and that's a great successful assimilation story. And it's also a reminder, I think, that assimilation is a two-way street. That Irish folks came here and made themselves a part of our community, but that wasn't all. It was also that our community that was already here, the larger community, accepted them, eventually, after a long time, eventually accepted them, put our collective arms around them, and welcomed them into our national family as members of our group. And that's an important step. We always hear people complaining about, no, immigrants need to assimilate. Immigrants need to become a part of America. And that's important, but America needs to accept those immigrants as well. We have to remind ourselves that the concepts of unity and diversity are not mutually exclusive. You can, in fact, have both at the exact same time. And I would argue for a healthy society that is a thriving, evolving, constantly churning, changing pluralistic society like the United States, that both things are absolutely necessary. We have to value our diversity. We have to acknowledge and accept and learn to cherish our differences because they can make us stronger. And we also have to maintain a sense of unity, a sense of solidarity, a sense of brotherhood. We are unified and we are diverse. From many, one. Both the many and the one. Both the pluribus and the unum are important in that saying. It's not one over the other. We are many, and we are coming together to form one nation, to form one society. And that's very important. And hopefully that principle, which I believe is a fundamental American principle, will guide us in general and will guide the organizers of these St. Patrick's Day parades that have traditionally excluded gays and gay groups from participating. It will eventually compel those organizations to change their mind and to reach out and put their arms around the gay members of their own community, just as the larger American community put their arms around the community of Irish immigrants and the Irish culture after rejecting it for so long and treating it so poorly. It would also be a wonderful thing if we would do what we've done with St. Patrick's Day to other cultural festivals. Wouldn't it be nice if African American cultural festivals were as smiled upon and celebrated in our broader mainstream culture as St. Patrick's Day is? Wouldn't it be nice if we truly and enthusiastically celebrated the contributions of blacks, of gays and lesbians, of women, of any group of people that you could consider a cultural outgroup, if we would embrace them and lift them up every once in a while and celebrate them as not as above us, not as better than us, but as a part of us and as a good part of us, and as something that makes us all different but also makes us all unified and makes us all strong. I think that's, I mean, look, I'm not trying to ignore the fact that St. Patrick's Day for most people in modern America is just an excuse to go out and drink a lot of beer. But I do think if you look at it the way I've been talking about it, that you can take an important lesson from it and from the way Irish culture has been accepted, and use that as a model for other forms of culture and other immigrant communities and other outgroups that today might be considered foreign or might be considered the other, but as a reminder that we can bring them in and we can embrace them, and that we should. At the beginning of the previous episode of this series, I showed you guys the really cool WWE Crew t-shirt that Air 138 and his wife Trisha Kitty were kind enough to send me, and also the really cool artwork that Trisha Kitty did and sent to me and Ashley. And I wanted to show you another piece of artwork that I got a while back, but I wanted to show it to you and share it with you. And it was done by another subscriber of mine named Patrick Dodds, who you may have seen commenting on a lot of my videos. A really cool guy, really nice guy. And he took a throwaway joke in a Stephen Stuffy video that I did months and months and months ago. And he created this really, really wonderful cartoon based on it. I mentioned this hypothetical mystery series that I had created within this Stephen Stuffy video, this concept that I supposedly had for a mystery series based on Sherlock Holmes, and it would have been me and my cat Audie starring in it, and it would have been called Sherlock Shives and Dr. Otson. And Patrick took this blink and you'll miss it joke, and he created this really great cartoon based on it. And here it is. I want to show it to you right now. It's Sherlock Shives and Dr. Otson in The Case of the Five Stupid Things. What an awesome drawing this is. Patrick, you did such a good job on this. Look at all the detail that he puts in here. He's got my ball cap with the Suns logo on it, but it's double brimmed to look like the Deerstalker, to mimic Sherlock Holmes's Deerstalker hat. I've got like the Holmesy long coat on, but underneath that is my Batman t-shirt, but the Batman t-shirt has a collar to make it more formal and Holmesian. Magnifying glass, obviously. He even gets my eye color right. There's Audie up pawing at a globe, which is placed in the frame to mimic the globe in the background of my Five Super Things videos. Like, it's such a great attention to detail, and the style, the character design is just so charming, and really, really well done, Patrick. And I know I told you at the time that I really liked it, and I shared it on Facebook, but I just wanted to share it with everybody else on this video as well. Because it's just terrific, and I really, really, really appreciate it, and it's such a well done piece, and you totally nailed the personality of my wife with her quote at the bottom. I was about to say you really nailed my wife, but you didn't do that, did you, Patrick? I'm glad you didn't. I mean, it's good that you didn't nail my wife, but you nailed her personality. When you have her screaming nerd at the bottom, which I believe is also something that she has screamed at me in past videos. So really great eye for detail, and just a great piece of work. So thank you so much, Patrick. I put the Yingling in a Red Sox glass. Does that make it any better as far as St. Patty's Day, or does that just make it worse?